For my mini instructional video for my standard, which is animal classification, I am found this animal classification web quest, which also serves as an activity. So in the beginning, it has a plain introduction of why we classify things, and it gives examples with socks and drawers or kitchen utensils in the kitchen, and then goes into details about animals and the family kingdom, where animals are food everywhere, and it divides them into vertebrates, which are amphibians, birds, fish, and mammals and reptiles, which is something that this web quest focuses on heavily. Now, if we go down here to task 1, it's all about learning about the kingdoms of the living things. Click on that. It goes over to this website where it has printable worksheets and revision puzzles, but what we're mostly focusing on is down here. And if we look at these are all websites that you can go to that each have 5 kingdoms of living things, plants, funguses, but we're focusing on animals. So if we click on that, we go to here, we see this side are animals with backbones, which are vertebrates, and over here are animals without backbones, which are invertebrates. We scroll down, and it shows us different animals and their pictures and names of what they are. And to describe us. So bird, this is an owl, reptile, a snake. The worms are a worm, and then you can go down here and you can click more, and it gives you more details about each of those classes. So mammals, it gives you a definition of that, of birds, reptiles, amphibians, and it goes on. So we're going to go back to the original page, which is task 1. Now, it also has this worksheet we can print out. Now, this is something that would be printed out beforehand, and it would gives questions that you have to fill in the blank of all these different things that are all included into that one website of task 1 that we just recently clicked on. And they would have to find them and fill in the blanks and keep the worksheet for themselves, which would be graded later. We go back to this, go to task 2. It gives a little definition of what's going on here and how we group animals again, and goes into more details about the vertebrate class. Now, we go down here, has another worksheet to print out. Unfortunately, I cannot show it because it does not work on my computer. But then we click on this link, it goes over to another website which shows us the 5 classes of vertebrates, but it goes into much more detail than the last one. So the fish, it gives in specific names. Same thing with amphibians and definitions of skin tone and stuff like that. A lot of the stuff they won't have to know, but we'll go over the basic details about it. Go back here, it also gives a thing to Kidport, which is another little nifty information / quiz website. Animal Web Quest, not the most important one of the bunch. And then vertebrates, which goes right back to the one page that we did previously. Alright, so once we're done with that, and this is all in-class stuff that if you were in a classroom you would do, we go to the big project. Big project is something that a group of the kids would do together and make a presentation about the vertebrate class. Again, unfortunately, I cannot pull up the direction to this certain presentation, but I would assume it would be something like having a certain slide for a certain animal group and then giving definitions / a little fun thing that they found on the internet to do. Research sites just shows each of the research sites that you could go to find each of the vertebrate classes. This gives a definition of putting it all together. And down here is an assessment of what you can do when you find all the when you're done with all this, and it gives a rubric for the previous big project. If you go down here, such as the which animal, it's a little quiz you can take to find out what it was just by a small little definition. For example, what animal leaps out of the water to communicate with others? Whale, answer and continue. And you're correct. Congrats. On the side, there's a lot of good listing, which helps you keep order on the page. And overall, I did enjoy this this web quest. It showed great effectiveness, giving details and supporting vertebrates, and it's relevant to what we're learning or to each of the links that we click on. It's efficient because it does not take many resources, just a couple papers and some time to do it. And it also encourages engagement with the big project at the end, where kids would get together and do it all together, make their own activity for themselves and a presentation which they'd all pitch in to help on, and then describe what they did and their little activity in front of the entire class. Enhancement is also a good thing, but what I found is lacking probably the most. Because yes, it does give you websites and gives you tools to use to your advantage for when teaching this lesson, but most of the tools are not the best. There's not really any videos or animations or anything like that. So if they were to add that, this would be a good tool to use for the animal classification standard.